Non, parce que ça fait un écho.
Okay.
Sorry.
Perfect. Well, welcome to Guanajuato.
Thank you.
Can you see our audience?
Okay.
Maybe we can show you our audience. Can we get a camera on the audience, please? Camera on the audience. So, how are you doing? I understand that you are in a film shoot right now.
Yeah. Well, first, we did really pretty party before shoot. So we decided it's safer to celebrate before we do the film.
Terrific. Well, thank you for taking some time in your schedule to join us. You have many fans here in Mexico, as you know. And we're going to be showing two of your latest films. We're going to be showing Mood Indigo on the stairs of the University of Guanajuato. They're called the Escalinatas, which is an open-air venue. And we're going to be showing your documentary with Noam Chomsky, is the tall man who is happy. So we're very excited. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about, your background. I know your grandfather was an inventor, and it seems to be a recurring theme in many of your films. Was Mood Indigo and Science of Sleep, were these kind of like a tribute to your grandfather?
Well, maybe I'm sure to tell you the truth. There is probably something in the genes or in my background when I was a kid. So can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I was very intrigued and interested by the attic of my grandfather, who was a pioneer in radio and in chemistry, and he discovered, invented synthesizer in the 40s. It was guitar, one song. So I had a background. So whether it's just a background or genetic, my father, who was not his son, but his son-in-law, was doing electronics and computer programming. So I grew up like that, so it seemed natural for me to use these elementary I want to tell.
Very good. And what would you say has been the source of your creativity over the years? Do you have is there somewhere you go to find inspiration?
It depends, and what I live, my experience, emotion I feel, my dreams. Mostly what's personal, especially in the beginning, has been source of inspiration. And then as well, when I started to do a bit different movies like Beacon and Rewind, I had some utopia or ideas how people could work together and create together. So I to find a little bit my what I have to tell, but it's quite personal in general.
And this, the detour that you've taken in the last few years into documentary filmmaking, has this been a way for you to find inspiration from reality, or why the interest in the documentary filmmaking?
I think when I was asked to, and I grew up with jazz music or African American music, and I always had an interest in black music, basically. And I felt to be invited by this certain community to show this concert and to show this community was very enriching. I did my auntie as more CF. I had to record and take tracks on her life because she's quite old, and she was a school teacher, and I wanted to record her story that were amazing, and she told us all her stories since we were kids, and I was generally the only one to be to this we just about. I could have read the degree on him, and I was wait long after his passing. It was too late. So I feel making documentaries is a way to keep things alive after for a longer time. But it's been as well a source of inspiration because it's when you go to shoot a documentary, you have no script, and so you what's going on in the view. You have to really think fast and you have to be receptive, responsive, and to work on them while doing documentaries. And I think they are very useful when you shoot a movie. So I think it's been helping me in my directing.
Very good. And have some of these documentaries, have they kind of spun off ideas for fiction films, for feature films?
Let's see. In a way, when the shoot next Monday, we're going to shoot some scene in the house where my grandparents used to live. So in a way, I was just talking about doing this documentary on my grandfather. So it's just of all working together. It's hard to say. Well, in a way, yeah, that's true. Because after I did Block Party, I worked with Mos Def, who was one of the most participants to Block Party, and we did Big Alley One together. That was a tribute to Dick. We even had a concert with Mos Def playing Fats Waller's song. So yes, there is definitively an interaction.
And do you intend to keep making documentaries in the future? You know, documentary, feature film, music videos. You don't want to stick to any sort of format. You're just going to keep experimenting.
I want to experiment all the time. Right now, I just finished this film about Noam Chomsky. I'm glad I'm going to do a feature film on personal memories, and maybe after somebody will ask me to shoot a documentary. We'll see.
Very good. And could you tell us a little bit about the current project that you're working on?
Yes, it's in Paris, the suburb of Paris, and it's hard to story. It's really it's on my shoulder. It's played in contemporary time. It's a trip we had with my best friend at the time. So it's the story of two kids who are 14 years old, and they are a little bit outcast from the rest of the school because it's a little bit right wing. And one, he's more like an artist, and the other, he likes to fix cars or make things like that. And together, to go to holidays, they decide to build a car and take the road across France. And because they're not allowed to drive the car, they build it in the shape of a little house, so the cops don't stop them when they see them. They believe it. Just stop the car. So they go on this road trip on a number of absurd things. go on, and then they grow up a little bit as they do this trip.
And this film is being produced in France. Do you still have any intention of working in Hollywood on a feature film?
Yeah, I'm trying to see something I like. I work on a project with I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'll be able to bring a concept to Hollywood, then have a lot of money and do my own personal film with a lot of money. But I'm not sure that's going to happen. I would rather do smaller movie with my own ideas than a bigger movie with somebody else's idea. But of course, I would not mind doing a big movie with my ideas.
Early in your film career, you had a very successful collaboration with Charlie Kaufman, and I was wondering if in the future you would work with Charlie again.
Yeah, I would love to work with him again. I think he's very busy doing projects he wants to direct. Yeah, we did good work together, and I didn't hear from him for a while, and he sent me a very kind email after he saw the Chomsky film, and so I was very honored. But we keep in touch. We exchange email 3 times a year, let's say. And I hope one day we do something together again.
And I saw you just made a music video very recently for the group Melotone? Is that Metronome. And so is this something that you'll always do, you think, throughout your career? Music videos? Is it something you enjoy to do because of the length of the project or whatever?
Well, it's a short format. When I watch a movie, it's a great relief to be able to explore an idea, experiment, and have a quick result. And I still have connection with music. I think it's a much faster medium than cinema, and it sort of keeps me more sort of in touch with what's going on in culture. And I mean, it's how that I don't just ignore it. Like let's say Björk asked me a video, I can say.
And you used to be a musician, or you are a musician. You used to play drums in Wee Wee. Do you still play any instruments?
Yeah, we actually, after like 20 years or 25 years, we played again with Wee Wee. We did 3 concerts, and it was really fun to get back together, and we played in small venues. But yes, still, I play, and I'm very involved when we record the score for my movie. It's really an important part.
Very good. Well, we know you're very busy, and we want to give our audience the chance to ask some questions. I know you have many fans out here. So we're going to ask los voluntarios si pueden traer los micrófonos. Y cuando alguien tiene una pregunta, pedimos que por favor se paran para que los podamos capturar en video. Ahí con Ashley, por favor, el joven de negro. And here's a question from our audience.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Speak loud.
Fantastic. It's a great honor to talk to you. I was wondering, you use so much dream imagery in your videos and projects. Do you keep like a diary of your dreams when you wake up in the morning, or how does things from your head filter into your work? What is your process? I think Daniel asked that a little while ago, but maybe you could. Anyway, when you wake up, what happens in that moment?
When I wake up, sometimes I remember very vividly the dream. Sometimes I just have a feeling, and it could be very sad feeling. So you could say that I'm moody and I have different change mood. But I think a lot of time people just say, even if they don't remember their dream, they wake up with a strong feeling that is connected to what they experienced in their dream. So I have those feelings, and sometimes I remember the story, and occasionally I write them down. But like in the film I'm gonna direct now, the first part of the story is really of my childhood. Second half we we wanted to do it. All the adventure they through was inspired by dreams I had while I was writing. So it was funny because I write at the beginning of the story, and then when I was writing, I had those dreams that sort of helped me to finish the story. So I use them like that, and you don't have to make weird scene. There is weird elements in the scene, but sometimes if you try to describe a dream, you can find a way of avoiding what's too about. So there is something even more. If the world is bad and that what happens as something really wrong somewhere, then it becomes disturbing. So the second part of the story has been really influenced by my dream. And yes, I have in my computer I have a little folder when I have maybe 10 or 15 dreams I wrote over the years. But sometimes it feels that my dream was amazing. I felt I've been living an odyssey. And when I read the dream again, it's quite flat. I think it's like that for everyone.
Very good. Otra pregunta, por favor. Okay.
Hola, buenas. Yo no hablo inglés. Así es que
si me lo preguntas,
si
I will translate.
Si me ayudaras mucho, gracias. Es un comentario que lo escribí porque no soy buen orador y es rapidito.
It's a little commentary I want to share with you.
Creo que se necesita de alguien especial para que algo brutalmente común se convierta en un knockout de los sentidos.
He thinks, espera,
¿Perdón?
Lento para que pueda traducirte.
Sí.
He thinks that you need someone special so that something so brutally common, tan brutalmente común,
se convierta en un knockout de los sentidos.
¿En un knockout?
Knockout.
Sí. That becomes in a knockout of the senses.
En lo personal detesto lo común.
And personally, he detests the common stuff.
Por eso me encantan tus películas.
And that's why he loves your films.
Por eso viajé 27 horas.
And that's why he traveled 27 hours
desde Yucatán, una tierra muy lejana.
From the Yucatan.
Para decirle, señor reinventor de la realidad.
To say to the reinventor of reality.
Gracias por no quedarse con las ganas.
Thank you for not leaving any. Thank you for not holding back.
Gracias por no quedarse con las ganas de lo que en su mente vive.
¿De lo que qué?
De lo que en su mente vive.
Thank you for not holding back from all of your thoughts.
No se quede solo allí.
And please don't stop there.
Y tengo dos preguntas rapiditas.
And he has two quick questions.
Thank you first. I don't want to talk. I have no
esta cosa no sirve.
Try to see different, but I don't think I could. It would work.
Okay. ¿Cuál es tu pregunta?
Que ¿cuánto duró la filmación de Amor Índigo y dónde puedo conseguirla porque no hay en México?
Amor Índigo, la puedes ver en escalinatas mañana, creo.
¿Perdón?
Amor Índigo, lo vamos a pasar aquí.
Ya la pasaron.
Ya la pasamos.
Sí.
Okay, sorry.
Y no la vi.
¿No la alcanzaste? Bueno. Hablamos a la distribuidora. ¿Y cuál era la otra? ¿Cómo lo puedo conseguir ya? Oh, how long was the filming for Mood Indigo?
I think 2 months and a half.
How long?
It's very long and sometimes quite painful. It was a lot of element and detail to put together. I tried to do most of the effect of the animation on camera, so there is no post-production or barely any. So it was a lot of amount to work
Aquí, quien sea más conveniente. Thank you.
Don't worry, I'm going to speak English. First off, I want to say it's an honor to speak with you. You, as I talked earlier about your collaboration with Charlie Kaufman, I want to say that collaboration resulted in what is probably one of my favorite films of all time. So I'm curious to ask you where that idea came from, where that idea that is in a way so out there, but also in a way so intimate and so relatable came from.
And my best friend is a contemporary artist. He's called Pierre Bismuth, and he has very original and touching concept. And he just had this concept once. He told me he wanted to send a card to people randomly, and on the card would be written, "You've been erased from such and such memory. Please don't call them ever again." And they would do that. And there was this step. Like doing that could a story. Somebody would decide to somebody will find out that he's been erased by his girlfriend, and then they meet again, and what's going to happen. We had like a one-page storyline, and then we met with Charlie Kaufman, and he wrote the screenplay. But the initial concept came from this contemporary artist.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aquí a tu lado.
Hi Michael, voy a tratar de hablar en inglés, a ver si tengo algo mal, pues si se podría traducir.
Okay.
Hi Michael, as you can see, you have a lot of fans here in Mexico, and we hope to see you soon here in Guanajuato. It's a very great place to be here to live. We hope to see you soon here in the festival. And my question is, what do you prefer to do, music videos or films? Which one is your favorite work that you make? And what do you think about the Mexican talent? What do you think about as actors or directors? And you worked with Gael Garcia Bernal. What do you think about Mexico? How is your relation with Mexico? Can you hear me?
Yeah. So my favorite project is the next one because it's still clean and it's in my imagination. And then when it becomes reality, it's really hard to know if I like the movie I've done or not. It's easier to appreciate the videos because I can see if they are good. The movie, too many people give up. I've been to Mexico maybe we love people here. So we did the premiere of the Science of Sleep with Gael. I hope I'm going to come back soon. I promise I'm going to come to show you this movie I'm doing now.
Okay, thank you. We hope to see you soon here in Guanajuato. Thank you very much.
Mm.
A ver. ¿Otro? ¿Alguien?
Okay.
Aquí. Por favor.
Sí, me
Aquí.
resbalo.
Manos arriba. Ah, ok, perdón.
Gracias. Hi, Mr. Gondry. Greetings from everybody here. We are from Cinema Spot, and I got a question for you. Which tips would you like to give to all the filmmakers in Mexico, and what kind of advices would you like to share with this audience that follows you and want to make films or videos like you?
The first, honestly, I am really not to advise. But since you are asking, I said like the most important thing is to, no matter what the project is, no matter big or small it is, you have to finish it. It's really wrong and bad to leave it open, because you can't make you can't learn anything from it, and even if it's failed, you can learn even more than if it's successful. So, but if it's not finished, and you won't learn anything. And as a third advice, I would say each to find things really special or make them different, on at least at the first movie or short film. Try to look for this place and talk about that. But I mean, personal, because if you like a book or if you know a story that's not from you, maybe you can do something great. So I mean, my first advice is really to have the courage to finish the project.
Okay, well, that's all. Thanks, Mr. Gondry, and it's such a pleasure to talk with you today.
Muchas gracias.
Hola. Bueno, pues yo te quería preguntar ¿qué es lo que te impulsa a seguir haciendo cine?
Well, what motivates you to keep making movies?
Was the film, and I watched it feeling, I feel like should do something really different next time, and then that's one of my motivation, to try something different, and hopefully it's going to be better. But it's not always easy, because like lots of people I meet always they like my movie, but they really love better Essential of the Spotless Mind. So it's a little bit like a small balance chain, or maybe a motivation is to try to make something that people like better. But no, I don't think it's a good motivation. I think it's there is always something different to try. It's experience. Have an idea and go well, not so that I mean.
Okay. Otro? Aquí?
Well, hi. First of all, I would like to say I am a very huge fan of yours. I want to thank you for all the films that you have given us. Well, I have two questions. The first one is, which is your favorite film among your films? And the second question is, which is your favorite film among any film in existence?
Well, I was saying my favorite film from me is the next one, because I hope it's going to be good, and I really want to see it. And I don't know, I have many favorite movies. I've been watching Robert Bresson movie lately, like Michel. Uh,
Which movie was that?
Michel, it's about a young girl in the countryside. It's Robert Bresson has a very specific way to shoot, and he never used professional actors. But I don't know. Lately, Alain Resnais passed away, and he was one of my favorite. He is one of my favorite directors away from all time. Michel, favorite.
Muy bien. Uno más.
Hola. Bueno, no. Sí, ¿me puedes traducir?
Claro.
Bueno, un gran honor conocerlo a través, aunque sea de manera virtual.
It's a great honor to meet you, even if it's through virtual means.
My name is Barbara. I love your films. Y bueno, me gustaría preguntarle cómo ha sido trabajar con Björk. Me encantan todos los videos que ha hecho usted con Björk. ¿Cómo ha sido trabajar con ella, la experiencia?
She wants to ask, she's a big fan of Björk, and she wants to know what's the experience been for you working with her. She loves all the films, all the videos that you've done with her.
That was amazing working with her. In fact, after I did the first video I did for my own band, in which I was really creative, I had a few years where people would ask me to do video for their music, but they didn't want to have this kind of weirdness that they find was existing. And she was the first one really that from me. She really made myself, and at the same time she brought so many ideas and creativity that she has a more modern view on art than I had, and she really opened my eyes on contemporary art and inspiration. So she always been very. We collaborated a lot. She brings a lot of ideas on the table.
Thank you. Otra? Aquí.
Hello. Michel,
Hello.
thank you very much. I wanted to ask you, it seems like you're a very organic filmmaker, so what do you think on the transition from film to digital, and which one do you prefer the most?
Well, it's interesting. I shot my next movie, and I shot my 3 last one digitally. But when I did Noam Chomsky was entirely done on 16mm with my own little camera. I think for animation, I really love to do it with film, and it's a very. I have the camera in my face very handy. But I have now to shoot a feature film with the quality and the precision of the new cameras. It would feel like a deliberate nostalgia to shoot on film. I have enough nostalgia in my work already. Like I like to do handmade stuff, but if on top of that I shoot them with the camera, it will just look like another movie. To me, if you shoot film now, it's like deciding to shoot black and white. It would be great, but it seems like a technical.
Thank you.
Terrific. ¿Otra pregunta?
Hi. You talk a bit about your work with Björk. I'm curious about what's your process about when you make a music video. Do you listen to the song a lot of times, or do you talk with the artist?
Yeah, all that. I listen to the track 100 times And I want to get, before I start to write anything, I want to meet or talk to the artist to get a sense of where he or she wants to go. Because I don't want to shoot in the dark, you know, I want to have some kind of record. And the goal is to extend the sort of the universe of the song, because people write 3 minutes, but they have something more bigger in their mind. So my job, I think, is to expand on what they started and incorporate my my ideas and my universe to their own universe and combine them and then hopefully create something different.
Thank you.
But I write down every part of the drum, break, keyboard coming in, bass playing alone. And to me, it's important to have this structure, whether or not I'm going to follow it. I really need to add a skeleton to the story.
Thank you.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Lo que yo quiero preguntar, en la vida se dice que hay dos cosas por las que nos arrepentimos, una por las que hacemos y otras por las que dejamos de hacer.
He says they say in life that there are two things that we regret. We regret the things that we do and the things that we don't finish doing.
¿Cuál sería una de las cosas de las que te arrepientes que has hecho y una que te arrepientes que no hayas hecho?
What are the two things? One thing that you regret that you did, and one thing that you regret that you haven't done.
Well, I mean, your sentence would work in like things you regret you did. Of course, if you killed somebody, that you should regret. But when we do a movie or some artistic expression, it's not the same stakes as different. You don't so you don't. It's entertainment. So it's harder to see something you would regret. I mean, there are movies I've made that I'm more proud of others. I try avoiding to regret things I've done. I mean, I get older and I think, okay, I could have saved 2 years of my life in doing something else, but it's a little pointless to think this way. And regretting things I didn't do, yes. Some videos I wanted to put story I loved, I get to direct. Yeah, but I'm quite I'm lucky enough, so I keep working. So I don't have so much time to have regret.
Gracias. Walter?
Hello.
There we go.
I wanted to ask you, where did you get your interest on visual effects and camera tricks that you seem to love so much?
Can you
and how did you start learning how to do them and master them?
I remember as a kid, I loved, when I discovered Méliès, Georges Méliès, it was just an enlightenment. Like, this guy did everything himself and with ingenuity, and he was a magician. Then my dad had the camera, and I tried some Super 8 camera, and I tried to use it to do little tricks. And then I bought my own camera, and I had all the little film from scratch with everything myself, background animation, so on. And I really enjoyed this process, and I think I discovered how to make things because I had to find solution to every problem. And my brain always worked good with geometry. As I'm terrible with history and geography, but geometry, it's something I was good at. So it's perfect at thinking about geometry. Sometime later on, I had access to machines, and I always like to use the machine in a way that's different. That's the one it's been used. See what you can do when you access this technology, what you can do that's not been done. So it's a sort of curiosity of trying to do something with a machine and that you discover. That's something that motivates me. So I've done a lot of experiment and research because I just imagine something, and then there is I try a way to do it, and then there is a surprise of the result, and that's how it works for me.
Otra pregunta.
Bueno.
¿Sí?
Bueno, mi nombre es Iraís. Mi pregunta es, ¿qué literatura te ha inspirado en lo que has hecho? O sea,
What literature have you?
¿Te has inspirado? Si hay...
If there's any piece of literature that you've read that has inspired you?
I mean, I didn't read much when I was young or adolescent, but since I've been doing animation, I discovered that you can listen to book and tape. I've been listening to tapes of Russian novels, and each one of them could make a great movie. So I'm not sure I would have the capacity to translate a story, and I just did Mood Indigo, L'écume des jours, which was from a very famous book. So I'm not sure I want to do but I mean, some of the rich novel it's so amazing. Trying, but I think it's different.
Y otra pregunta sería, ¿hasta dónde te involucras en la selección del soundtrack y cómo la realizas? Especialmente me gustaría saber el proceso que utilizaste para La ciencia del sueño.
Otra vez, por favor.
Que ¿hasta dónde te involucras en la selección del soundtrack para las películas?
How involved are you in the selection of the soundtrack for films like Science of Sleep, for example?
I mean, I have closely with the composer, and then the song were all picked by me. Well, there were not so many songs, but I decided. I mean, a movie like that, the interest of doing a movie like that is like I can choose every like.
Okay. Otra pregunta por ahí. Aquí abajo hay uno.
Thank you. Hi, Mr. Gondry. It's such an honor to meet you. I want to ask you about the project Is the Man Who Is Still Happy, about the animation technique that you use, and how was the experience to talk with one of the greatest minds of the history, like Chomsky?
Was the animation was describing a camera, a room, and this camera, a light box, and sharpies, like these big markers that I use, and I improvise the animation most of the time. And the experience was great of meeting Chomsky. I was very nervous and impressed, but I think the relationship was like a teacher and a pupil. So I was not argumenting, I was just trying to understand, and I would interact with him to make sure what he was speaking, and they were to I was not here to try to it was wrong or right, but it must be wrong. I was here to really try to capture or make his knowledge accessible to myself and to other people. But it's just amazing to talk to somebody who has so much in his head, in history, science, politics, and activism. It's a great lesson.
Is there another person who would you like to talk with?
People are special. Find. I mean, it's very the top. Having interviewed Chomsky and having done videos with Björk, it's pretty awesome. And a lot of dead people, of course, I would like to talk to. I have this project with David Byrne. I hope it's going to happen. It's somebody that I respect immensely. I'll just practice. People are going to see again and again on the side of the universe. All those things are intriguing to me and interesting. I think there are a lot of people waiting for me next door, and I have to say goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias. Creo que tenemos tiempo para una más. We have time for one more question. Make it a good one.
Hello, Mr. Gondry. I just wanted to ask, how do you choose the musicians or artists you want to work with? What's the process?
If I go to somebody and say, I would like to do your video, it's never the right time. So I hear about somebody who wants to work with me and we try to make it work. But of course, there are music or band or artists that I'm not interested, so I have a choice. But it generally comes from them. Maybe I'm going to work with Jack. I think Dave Broad, maybe he's trying to reach me. I talk with Stromae, and I really what he does. But then it's a lot of time. It's a question of being both available at the same time. But I like people who don't take themselves too seriously, of course, and are original, and they are open-minded.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Can you have a look at the audience? Pregunta a la audiencia. Thank you, Mr. Gondry.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, and it's been a long time coming. We've been inviting you for many years, and we will keep inviting you until you finally come to Guanajuato. And just remember, you have a lot of fans here. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank Sabrina, your assistant, for being so patient with us these past 2 weeks. Sabrina there? Well, we lost you totally. Pues muchas gracias.